Good morning, students. So today we'll see for communication through the band limited channels, that is module 4. For module 4 you have to refer the textbook, that is Fundamentals of Digital Communication by John Prokis. Now in the last section we considered the digital communication over an AWGN channel and evaluated the probability of error performance for optimal receiver of several different types of baseband and carrier modulation methods. Now here we'll discuss about the digital communication over the channel that is modeled as a linear filter with bandwidth limitation. Band limited channels most frequently encountered in practice are the telephone channels, microwave channels, radio channels, satellite channels, or the underwater acoustic channels. In general, a linear filter channel imposes more stringent requirements on the design of modulation signals. Specifically, the transmitted signal must be designed to satisfy the bandwidth constraint imposed by the channel. The bandwidth constraint generally includes the rectangular pulses at the output of the modulator. The design of band limited signals is restricted with respect to the bandwidth available. Now here we'll see how the linear filter channel distorts the transmitted signal. Then the channel distortion results in the intersymbol interference, and at the output of the demodulator it leads to increase in the probability of error at the detector. Devices or the methods for correcting or undergoing the channel distortion are called as the channel equalizers, so which also is covered in this module. Now let us consider a band limited channel such as a telephone channel. Wired is characterized as a linear filter with the impulse response C of t, and the frequency response Cf is given by integration from minus infinity to infinity C of t e raised to minus j 2 pi f into t. 2 pi f into t. If the channel is a baseband channel that is limited to BC Hertz, then Cf is equal to 0 for f greater than BC. Any frequency components at the input to the channel that higher than the BC Hertz will not be passed by the channel. For this reason, we consider the design of the signals for the transmission through the channel that are band limited to W equal to BC Hertz as shown in the figure, that is the magnitude and the phase response. Now suppose that the input to the band limited channel is a signal waveform GT of t. Then the response of a channel is a convolution of GT of t with C of t. So that is given by the equation h of t is equal to minus infinity to infinity C of tau GT of t minus tau into d tau. So which is indicated with the convolution equation, or when it is expressed in the frequency domain, it is just a multiplication of C of f into GT of f, where GT of f is the frequency spectrum of the signal GT of t and h of f is denoting the frequency spectrum of h of t. Thus the channel alters or distorts the transmitted signal GT of t. Now let us assume that the signal at the input of the demodulator is in the form of h of t plus nt, where nt denotes the additive white Gaussian noise, so which is discussed in the previous chapter or the previous module with respect to the communication, that is the transmission through AWGN channels. Now the demodulator that employs a filter which is matched with the signal h of t maximizes the SNR, that is signal to noise ratio, at the output. Therefore, let us pass the received signal h of t plus nt through the filter. Now we get GRF is equal to H transpose of f into e raised to minus j 2 pi f into t naught, where t naught is some nominal time delay at which we sample the filter output. Now the signal component at the output of the matched filter is denoted by ys of t naught. It is equal to epsilon h, which is the energy in the channel output Ht. The noise component at the output of the matched filter, with the zero mean and the power spectral density given by SNF is equal to N0 by 2 H of F square. Hence, the noise power at the output of the matched filter has a variance sigma n square, and it is denoted by N0 into epsilon h divided by 2. And the SNR at the signal output is given by S by N naught is equal to 2 epsilon h divided by N naught. So this result of SNR is the output of the matched filter, so which was obtained in the previous section. So the received signal energy EH has replaced the transmitted signal energy ES, that is which compared to the result which is already indicated in the previous module. The major difference in this development is that the impulse response is matched to the received signal H of t instead of the transmitted signal. Note that the implementation of a matched filter at the receiver requires that H of t or equivalently the channel impulse response must be known to the receiver. So this is about some introduction about the band limited channels. Now let us look into the digital PAM transmission through the band limited channels. Let us consider a baseband signal PAM, which is indicated with the functional diagram as shown. The system consists of a transmitting filter having an impulse response Gt of t, a linear filter channel with AWGN, a receiving filter with a impulse response Gr of t, a sampler that periodically samples the output of the receiving filter, the symbol detector. The sampler requires the extraction of the timing signal from the received signal. This timing signal serves as a clock that specifies the appropriate time instant for the sampling of the output of the receiving filter. First, we consider the digital communication by means of M-array PAM signal. Hence, the input binary data sequence is subdivided into k-bit symbols, and each symbol is mapped into the corresponding amplitude. That amplitude modulates the output transmitting filter. The baseband signal at the output of the transmitting filter may be expressed as V of t is equal to summation minus infinity to infinity an gt of t minus nt, where t equal to k by rb is the symbol interval and 1 upon t is equal to rb by k is the symbol rate. RB is the bit rate and AN is the sequence of amplitude levels corresponding to the sequence of k-bit blocks of information. The channel output in the received signal at the demodulator may be expressed as RT is equal to summation minus infinity to infinity AN H of t minus NT plus NT, where HT is the impulse response of the cascade of the transmitting filter, and the channel, that is H of t is equal to Ct convolution Gt of t. Ct is the impulse response of the channel and Nt is the AWGN. The received signal is passed to the linear receiving filter with the impulse response Gr of t and frequency response Grf. If Grt is matched to H of t, that is impulse response, as we discussed now, then its output SNR is maximum at a proper sampling instant. The output of the receiving filter is given by Yt is equal to An into Xt minus Nt plus V of t, where X of t denotes the convolution operation of H of t into the received signal. So which is nothing but Gt of t convolution C of t and GR of t, and V of t is NT convolution GR of t. This denotes the additive noise at the output of the receiving filter. So to recover these information symbols AN, the output of the receiving filter is sampled periodically at every t seconds. Thus, the sampler produces y of mt is equal to summation minus infinity to infinity an x of mt t minus nt plus vmt, or equivalently it can be written as ym is equal to summation minus infinity to infinity an xn minus 1 plus vm, where xm is equal to xmt, vm is equal to vmt for m equal to 0 plus or minus 1 plus or minus 2. So the timing signal can be extracted from the received signal and it is used for sampling the received signal. The first term on the RHS, that is right hand side, is desired symbol AM, and which is scaled by the scaling factor x0, and at the receiving filter, and it is matched with the h of t. The scale factor is denoted by the received signal h of t, and it is given by the equation x0 is equal to ht square, and it is equivalently denoted as EH, that is energy. So this represents, the second term represents the effect of other symbol at the sampling instant t equal to mt, and it is called as inter-symbol interference. In general, the inter-symbol interference causes a degradation in the performance of digital communication system. And finally, the third term Vm represents the additive noise, so which is zero mean Gaussian random variable with the variance sigma square is equal to n0 into epsilon h divided by 2. By appropriate design of the transmitting and the receiving filters, it is possible to satisfy the condition xn is equal to 0 for n not equal to 0, so that the inter-symbol interference term vanishes. In this case, the only term that can cause errors in the received signal sequence is the additive noise. The design of the transmitting and the receiving filters can also be discussed here. Now let us look into the transmission through band limited band pass signals. As it is already explained, the second term in the RHS of above equation represents the effect of the other symbol at the sampling instant t equal to nt, called as inter-symbol interference. Now in the development of the above signal, that is the transmission through the band limited signal, the baseband signal, that is PAM, is easily extended to the carrier modulation by PAM, QAM, PSK. So in the carrier amplitude modulated signal, the baseband PAM is given by V of t, and it modulates the carrier so that the transmitted signal can simply be written as U of t is equal to V of t cos of 2 pi fct, where the baseband signal V of t is shifted in the frequency domain by the frequency fc. The QAM signal is a bandpass signal which in its simplest form may be viewed as a two amplitude modulated carrier signal in phase quadrature. That is, QAM may be expressed as V of t is equal to Vc of t cos 2 pi fct plus Vs of t sin 2 pi fct, where Vc of t can be denoted with the symbol with respect to its shifted frequency sample, and Vs of t is denoted as its symbol, that is ANS, with respect to the shifted impulse with respect to the GT of t. These are the two sequences with respect to the two quadrature components. A more compact mathematical expression for these two signals is equivalent to the complex valued baseband signal. where the symbol AN can be extracted with the help of the real and the imaginary components. So using the signal constellation diagram which is discussed in the previous module, and the corresponding QAM signal can be extracted. Now when we look into the fact of the representation of the VT with the equivalent low pass signal, in case of QAM and the PSK, the equivalent low pass signals which are the baseband signal complex valued, the information bearing signal sequence AN can be the real valued baseband signal, and when it is transmitted through the band pass signal, the received band pass signal is represented using the real component of the signal, and when it is a complex component, it can be extracted by the complex band pass signal, band pass filter, so which are indicated separately as shown in the diagram. Now in this case, the baseband transmission HT is the impulse response, and the cascade of the transmitting filter H of t is equal to C of t into GT of t. So the received signal can be converted into the baseband signal by multiplying Wt with the quadrature signals cos 2 pi fct and sin 2 pi fct, thus eliminating the respective components with respect to the double frequency terms by passing it through the quadrature component through the separate low pass filters as shown in the diagram. However, we can represent the two quadrature components of the output with respect to the complex valued low pass filter output. So this can be represented as Yt is equal to summation minus infinity to infinity an x of t minus nt plus v of t. Now here the real baseband signal can be extracted using the above equation as the in phase quadrature components. Now the baseband signal can be also extracted with the same equation as described here. The band limited transmitting and receiving filters that either eliminate the intersymbol interference or control the intersymbol interference. However, first we will determine the power spectral density of the transmitted signal. Thus, we have to establish the relationship between the spectral characteristics of the transmitted signal and the channel bandwidth. So these requirements will help us to extract the components with respect to the in phase and the out of phase, that is the real component of the signal, and the complex, that is imaginary component of the signal. Thus we will be able to extract the signal information with respect to the band limited PAM signals.